David was a shepherd boy. He lived in Bethlehem. He spent his days caring for his father's sheep. David was a good shepherd. He was brave and strong. He protected his sheep from lions and bears. Little did David know, God had a big plan for him. He was chosen for a special purpose. This purpose would take him far from the quiet hills. It would lead him to face challenges he could never imagine. David's life was simple. He found joy in caring for the sheep. He found peace in the presence of God. He was unaware of the adventures that awaited him. He was about to step onto a path that would change his life and the history of his people. One day, a prophet named Samuel came to Bethlehem. God had given him a special task. He was to anoint the next king of Israel. Samuel went to the house of Jesse, David's father. He looked at Jesse's older sons, but God didn't choose them. Then Samuel asked, "Is there another son?" Jesse said, "Yes, there is David, the youngest. He is tending the sheep." Samuel asked for David to be brought to him. When David stood before Samuel, God spoke to Samuel. He said, "This is the one. Anoint him." Samuel took the special oil and poured it on David's head. At that moment, God's Spirit filled David. This anointing was a secret sign. David was chosen by God to be the future king of Israel. At this time, the Israelites were at war with the Philistines. A giant named Goliath challenged the Israelites to a fight. He was a fearsome warrior and no one dared to face him. David's brothers were soldiers in the Israelite army. David went to the battlefield to bring them food. When he heard Goliath's challenge, David was brave. He said he would fight the giant. King Saul, the current king, was surprised. He said to David, "You are just a boy, and this man has been a warrior all his life." David replied, "The Lord who rescued me from the lion and the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." So David went out to meet Goliath. He didn't wear armor or carry a sword. He had his shepherd's staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones. David trusted in God's strength, not his own. He ran towards Goliath, put a stone in his sling, and flung it with all his might. The stone hit Goliath in the forehead and the giant fell to the ground. David had defeated Goliath. The king's jealousy and a friend's loyalty. David's victory over Goliath made him a hero to the people. They sang songs about his courage, but King Saul became jealous of David. He saw David as a threat to his throne. Saul tried to harm David many times. He even tried to kill him. Through all of this, David remained faithful to God. He refused to harm Saul, even when he had the chance. David knew that Saul was God's anointed king, and he would not raise his hand against him. During this dangerous time, David found a true friend in Jonathan, Saul's son. Jonathan recognized David's good heart and his loyalty. Jonathan knew that David was the true king chosen by God. Jonathan protected David from his father's anger. He remained David's loyal friend until his death. Years of trial and the unwavering spirit. Saul pursued David relentlessly. David lived as a fugitive, hiding in caves and deserts, constantly on the run. He faced danger and betrayal. He lost friends and lived with the constant threat of capture. Yet, even in these difficult years, David never lost his faith in God. He continued to trust in God's plan, even when it seemed like everything was against him. He poured out his heart to God in psalms, songs of prayer and praise. David's faith never wavered. He knew that God was with him, and that gave him strength to endure. A king's reign and a legacy of faith. Finally, the day came when Saul died in battle. David was deeply saddened by the news, even though Saul had been his enemy. He mourned for Saul and Jonathan. With Saul gone, the people recognized David as their rightful king. David became king of Israel. He ruled with wisdom and justice. He united the tribes of Israel and expanded the kingdom. He brought peace and prosperity to the land. David's life was a testament to his unwavering faith in God. From shepherd boy to giant slayer to king, David showed courage, humility, and unwavering trust in God's plan. His story continues to inspire us today. It teaches us that even in the face of giants, with God on our side, we can overcome any obstacle.